But before I start, although there's no formal presentation, I do want to acknowledge that we are now a week into horrific events in Ukraine, the belligerence and unlawful activity of the Putin regime, putting countless lives at risk, destroying a civilization, quite frankly, for reasons not known to anyone but him. I am so proud as a British Columbian and as a Canadian to have our national response to be in unison with other allies around the world. Oftentimes people in countries that don't always agree are unanimous in their condemnation of the Russian aggression in Ukraine. And I also want to acknowledge that British Columbians are prepared to open their hearts and their homes to refugees, as we have in previous events like this, whether it be Syria, Afghanistan, and many, many other hostile intrusions by nefarious governments that have put regular people at risk and displaced them from their homes and their livelihoods. So British Columbia stands ready, and we have been engaging with the federal government to ensure that as they bring forward their accelerated immigration and refugee plans, that British Columbia will be right there with them to assist those who need help at this most desperate of times. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Premier. As a reminder to those on the phone line, please press *1 to enter the queue. You're limited to one question and one follow-up. We'll start in the room today. Bender Sajan, CTV.
I just wanted to pick up on what you were talking about there. With the accelerated streams from the federal government, what does BC need to do to prepare? How many people do you think BC could actually accept, and over what period of time?
Well, we're certainly working with federal immigration officials. Nathan Cullen is the provincial minister responsible for the immigration program that we have in BC, which is very modest. He'll be reaching out to non-governmental organizations, faith groups who traditionally lead when it comes to finding homes and work and other necessities for refugees, wherever they may come from. So we're going to be working in collaboration with local on-the-ground agencies to make sure that we do everything we can to house and protect and care for as many people as we can. What that number is uncertain at this time, but there will be costs, of course. British Columbians have already given $1 million to the Red Cross to assist with preliminary work, and we will, of course, as a government, be there for healthcare costs, assisting with housing, and all of the other initiatives that do end up falling to the province to pay for in situations like this. This isn't the time to negotiate with the federal government on how best to do that. It's the time to be there for the federal government to meet the need as they deem it, and of course working with them to ensure that we don't go over capacity and make more difficulty for people than they're already experiencing.
So we don't have an idea as to how many refugees we might be taking, or, right now it's very high level. You're going to take the federal government sort of.
Only to be in contact with the minister. Our minister has spoken with their minister. My office has been in touch with the PMO, the Prime Minister's office, letting them know that British Columbia stands ready. And it's not just the government, it's people. People right across the spectrum are opening their hearts and their homes to those that are having their lives turned upside down. That's who we are. We've done it in the past, and we're going to do it again. And it's largely driven by non-governmental organizations who are in the business of taking care of new arrivals to BC. We're going to be continuing to fund those organizations as we have in the past, and offering whatever guidance we can to the federal government about what numbers we can absorb here in BC. But I do want to give a caveat. I don't want it to diminish in any way our wholesale commitment to support the federal government. But more people came to British Columbia in the past year than have come internationally and from other provinces since the early 1990s. That's contributing to the housing challenges. That's contributing to other costs that we're all being exposed to. And despite that, I'm confident that British Columbians are ready, willing, and able to absorb as many Ukrainian refugees as we possibly can. But it is not without consequence. And just I'm glad for a second chance to answer the question. That doesn't change, I believe, the commitment of British Columbians to help. The world has turned its attention to Ukraine, and the brave and courageous leadership that we're seeing, not just in government, but on the streets, from elderly women with sunflower seeds in their hands, telling Russians to go home. that is so moving, not just for me, but for all British Columbians. And if we can't do everything we can to help people in their hour of need, then we're not truly global citizens, and I know British Columbians are.